Next, doesn't fail. Bright sun. First vehicle. Let's show them because there's humidity on the windshield. Second car, the second vehicle there was the second vehicle that I saw. When I turned onto this road, there was a vehicle, all black with all the windows tinted, big wheels. Should have got that, but I'm trying to minimize the footage here. Easier upload, easier to get to the parts where people write me and some stuff. Humidity keeps coming. Also, when I came outside today, right sun, what had happened was there was smoke in the air. It's not that foggy of a day. In fact, it's not foggy of a day. Here's now look how bright those are. Very bright. There's a burning sensation in my throat, roof of my mouth. And the vehicle was almost identical to this vehicle right here. It was all black with tinted. Watching this and thinking that I'm not targeted. You'll take a complete moron to think that, right? So obviously this is a government operation because the government would have responded a long time ago. Okay. And it's illegal as hell. I consider my exact wages lost, and so on and so forth. It's something that should come with a whole lot of compensation. So I'm sure we can all agree. My $4 million, up to $4 million, did I make it $5 million? If I get compensated, challenge, and $50,000 if I'm allowed to recover, and I don't, it's more than fair. And then other martial artists, what they're doing, even though they're acting like clowns these days, is dishonorable. In that, they're just going to sit there and pretend that they're the experts and that they're valid and so on and so forth when they're nothing more than government shells. It saddens me to have to point this out, but it has to be said. The right thing to do is to speak on it. Okay, the people in charge are obviously coercing women. Look at the statistics on rape. They're obviously governing poorly on purpose, so that they can point to the poor rapists and get people to pay less attention to the powerful ones. Every once in a while they throw an Epstein or a Weinstein under the bus. I don't think it's a coincidence that they're not that attractive looking. And this has a lot to do with social clubs and eugenics, where they try to make it seem like certain types of whites and Jews, certain types are superior, and they cite attractiveness as part of it. Obviously, part of how they got whatever looks they have. They tend to look evil, but more healthy than other people, is by controlling reproduction over the years. When they would invade as colonists, kind of like Pocahontas and John Smith or whoever it was, they take the most attractive women for the officers and the governing class, and they had a sort of human trafficking thing going on there. I'm sure everyone can agree that's how it works. We see the same thing in these wars in Russia. They like to point to other nations that do it, where they human traffic people and forced marriages is a part of it. Look up war brides. So people who are subtly coerced by people who, theater of war, right? And actresses are notorious for being sexually promiscuous, we'll say. And that is very much what's going on here. The romantic injustice is appalling. I'm going to post some pictures today, hopefully they'll go up today, of Hades, how this particular cartoon depiction resembles Spartacus from the TV series, Superman, Ryu from Street Fighter 2, a video game from back in the day, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is not a coincidence, right? We look at the animation, animus, meaning spirit or soul. We look at the word cartoonage. Cartoon comes from cartoonage, which is a sort of mask that the Egyptians wore, and the Greeks certainly copied their style and what have you. And you know, they use face paint and makeup, what have you, and they depict things in certain ways. Like they depicted the gods on the Egyptian wall, sort of like a cartoon, you know, comic, right? They're making fun of things because these guys weren't the martial art order. Is a Royal African Falcon, Black African martial art order. So there's a lot of foreigners, right? Sets of deity of foreigners, and rape and storms and chaos, and you know, the boars and the hippos and the jackals and the aardvarks and deer and so on and so forth. Fox, it has to do with his lack of martial art prowess, right? None of those animals are true martial art animals. Okay, brute force, boar, hippo. Okay, fox, you know, trying to be sly. Jackal, kind of sick look on his face, and so on and so forth. Where faster, master, strong is wrong is the rule of thumb, rhyme and reason, and they love these kind of scribe games in their language, right? English is a Latin-based language. Greco-Roman pagan cults. In fact, the word neo in the Matrix movie is neo-pagan, short for neo-pagan, especially Greco-Roman. Okay, so the cartoonage is an important word to write down. If I remember, I'll put that probably today or tomorrow. I have a lot of pics to upload today. I encourage you all to see my Hand of God playlist. Hand of God. Okay, a lot of Isaiah chapters are going to be there. Isaiah 66 chapters. I'm not going to put every single chapter, every part from every chapter. Just the parts that have to do with the hand of God, and very significant parts that help you understand what the hand of God is. Okay, I might miss a part or two here and there that I should have added, but that's just, you know, I'm working on a bunch of things at once, and I'm being fumed and poisoned and so on and so forth, and causing me cognitive impairment. Here's another car with a bright sign. I don't know if this is going to come out because it looks like foggy on my thing right now. I guess they hacked it or something. Maybe there's something on the lens, but here's another car with this bright sign. I don't think it's a coincidence one way or another. We'll see. I can watch the full video. I can see clips of it because of my condition. Part of it has to do with the eye problems they've caused me. So imagine they caused me eye problems, if my eyes heal one day, which I don't think they will. They'll have caused me eye problems for years. You know, kept me from getting on my feet. You know, I was in college when the gangstalking became very obvious with the harassment and the brighting that you see. Going here, some more people with their brights on. And I was in college for IT. Could have been making a lot more money than I'm making now, and all the other problems that they've caused. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's interesting. America loves to sabotage people. They say they're lazy and so on and so forth. Why they leverage their money, their blood money, their ill-gotten gains, their gain from extortion and blackmail and coercion and unsavory activities. Another person that brights on that vehicle, bright white lights, cause more damage than, you know. So, you know, they like to say things like that. Why the schools are for them, by them. Not everyone learns the same way. There's certain particular subgrouping of European and Jewish people and LGBT people that learn a certain way. The schools are structured for them. And that's part of why people drop out, right? The board of education is boring. The word school looks spelled backwards. Okay? And, of course, you see how they never allowed black people to get on their feet after slavery. Native Americans never really got on their feet using a mainstream scale as a group. After, you know, the colonists invaded, and all the rape and murder that's taken place, and the rapes and murders are still taking place, and we see everything from people coming up missing to people who aren't missing, who are being subtly coerced and blackmailed and abused. Okay, it is very sad that they pretend that, you know, they subtly, historically pretend that mainstream white society is decent when they are the main criminals behind this. That's like saying, you know, if Russians in war, for example, rape 3 million people, okay, that they're less bad than a guy who, cat whistles somebody, will say, okay, because it was the state that's doing it. Their arguments are something like this. It is completely outrageous. And remember, they control the statistics as well. Their own statistics testifies against them. And what aren't their statistics revealing? There's a lot of reasons that I'm right. Okay? It's unbelievable. And, I'm part black, part white. I'm not racist. I just call it how I see it. I'm the son of 2 doctors. That should help you understand. And my dad's the most moral brain surgeon that ever lived. My mom was a very moral person. Met my dad in Detroit during a very racist time of their history there. Everyone acknowledges is racist. Obviously, they still have problems over there. And, they forced her to drop out of medical school at the time, and she had to go back and finish, and so on and so forth. Because she was pregnant, as the story goes, with my older brother. There's another person with a bright side. Okay. So there's a difference between other doctors and my parents. There's a huge, huge, huge difference in regards to morality. Some other doctors are nice and so on and so forth, but they don't have the kind of moral intensity that my parents have. And that makes it clear, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, like father, like son. It make it clear for those of you who struggle to understand that why I'm the only one doing the right thing. Why do I keep saying that? Okay, first of all, you can't do the right thing by cheating the most righteous guy that ever lived to have his right to lead. Okay? Whoever doesn't gather with me scatters is what the Bible says. Christ is short for Christos, which means the anointed one, the king, right? And he says he's the root and offspring of David. Obviously, it's a story, so it's the idea that David is superimposed on. The things like the locusts stand for people. The fire stands for various things. The fire of God, the Spirit of God, the result of the hand of God. You see the water standing for well-being, people, righteousness, and so on and so forth. The clouds standing for various things as well. The army, clouds of smoke, so on and so forth. So obviously, David is no exception to the rule. He's an idea of somebody that's superimposed on something else. All right. So we are here at the appointed time for whatever reason. And you see, vehicles look a little bit suspicious, not too suspicious. I know, a little bit suspicious. Eh? So those of you who are new, a lot of times I don't go in the store, we'll say. But, well, I can't get too specific about it. I'm sure that's enough information for you right there. I'll leave right there.